Hola amigos de Wine News TV, les invito a conectar conmigo y con mis invitados en Wine News TV On The Go, un podcast que a su vez es un espacio donde aprenderás sobre el mágico mundo del vino a través de invitados de todas partes del mundo que nos contarán sobre sus proyectos para obsequiarnos de forma embotellada música, fuego y leones, como decía el gran maestro argentino Jorge Luis Borges en su poema Soneto al Vino. Seguimos aquí, mi gente, reportando desde el Fine Wine Celebration de Plaza Cellar. Vamos a hablar con un señor italiano de la Toscana, de mi país favorito en el mundo, fuera de Puerto Rico, que es Italia. Y él representa a Bodega San Felice. Amo esta bodega hace muchos años. El señor Francesco Riviera de la bodega San Felice. We're going to switch over onto English now. I'm going to send a very, very special message and a greeting to our dear friend Alessandro Cellai. He follows and listens to the podcast. How are you, my friend?
Very well, very well. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Puerto Rico. Have you been to the island before?
10 years.
10 years?
10 years every year for the Plaza Cellar event. I mean, it's a very good place. And when I came here for the first time, like it was 2014.
Okay.
I came directly from Italy before living in the United States. And I was absolutely impressed by the knowledge of the people.
That's interesting. I want you to touch on that after I make this joke. I always make jokes.
No.
So when they tell you, Francesco, your next stop is Puerto Rico, you don't complain. You like it. You say, oh,
it was like very exotic location. I was so I was like, oh wow, well, let's go there. But I had a lot of doubts that it was like a very interesting wine market over there.
Of course.
The first day when they opened the door at the Plaza Cellar event, I was shocked. Really, I was very surprised about it.
To see all the variety and knowledge.
Knowledge of the people also around about our winery. I mean, actually, Plaza Cellar, they have been importing our wines for almost 50 years.
But something, Francesco, it's I really understand what you're saying, because we are a location in the Caribbean that's primarily known for rum, cigars, beaches.
Right.
But we have this very close relationship with Europe because we were citizens of Spain by the turn of the 19th century. So a lot of the first Spanish wineries and bodegas that started exporting wines to the world in the early part of the 20th century would send their wines to Puerto Rico. So you have a market here that it's seasoned, that wants to have quality. So it's a particular market. And because of that relationship with Spain, we also have this knowledge of other wines in Europe, France, Italy. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me a little bit about San Felice, the winery.
Allora, San Felice, basically San Felice is Chianti Classico. We are one of the oldest members in the Chianti Classico consortium. We are located in the south part of the Chianti Classico, close to Siena.
Mm-hmm.
The town is Castelnuovo Berardenga, so south part, where we have a beautiful castle, village, completely restored at the beginning of the 19th. It's a beautiful 5-star hotel, which is considered, one of the most beautiful luxury location in Tuscany. In the village, with the hotel, we have also the winery.
Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely one of the oldest winery in the Chianti Classico.
Is it owned by a family or a consortium of shareholders?
Allora, the owner is an insurance company.
Okay.
It's a big insurance company called
from Italy.
From Germany.
From Germany. Okay.
Allianz. I mean, you are a soccer.
Oh yeah, so the Bayern Munich stadium.
It's
right?
the Bayern Munich Stadium. The Juventus Stadium
as well.
too.
Yeah.
but you know, they left all the operation, you know,
to Italy,
to the Italians,
of course,
you know, also because you know,
let the Germans make cars, right?
Like let them make the JJ cars, whatever, something with the, you know, technique, but they left.
They make good Rieslings, they make good wines too.
And then, you know, another characteristic that many wineries don't have in the Chianti Classico, but not only in Italy in general. Actually, our winemaker has been working for San Felice for 42 years.
That's impressive.
Actually,
that's impressive.
So it started when he was like a teen, 17, 18. So we don't, like many other wineries, we never, you know, use like the big name of winemaker, but we decided to invest, I mean, in a young guy, 42 years ago.
I totally understand what you're saying, Francesco, because a lot of wineries make a name for themselves based on the fame of a person when you want to really express the terroir, the grapes, the quality of what's in the bottle, not the guy who signs the
That's true. And, you know, part of the big characteristic in the Chianti Classico of San Felice is due also to you know, the choice of the owner of San Felice to invest in one single winemaker for you know, forever, I would say, you know. And many projects that they took place in San Felice, especially for the project of the old you know, and for the old indigenous grape varieties from Tuscany, they would never take place with you know, a big name.
Of course,
you know, so big one.
Because in reality, the star is Chianti Classico and the Sangiovese grape. Take maybe, Francesco, 1 minute to talk to the audience about Chianti Classico, and then another minute to talk about its main grape, Sangiovese.
Okay, so Sangiovese is the main grape in the Chianti Classico region. Chianti Classico region is you know, the historic area where the Chianti wine was, you know, I would say invented, you know, and it's the area that is a geographic area. First, to be the name of the wine is a geographic area between two cities like North Florence and South Siena. Okay, so Sangiovese has been always the main grape over there, and it was an area that you know, was that the Sangiovese was the main area and the main grape of the area, and it was an area that actually the boundaries of the Chianti Classico were defined officially in 1716 by Cosimo Medici III. So this area has been always vocated for the production of the wine with the main grape of Sangiovese. So can be considered, you know, also probably the first appellation in the world.
I was going to ask you about that because I've done 800 interviews, and somebody told me once that the Chianti Classico and the regulations that apply to make a demarcation, a geographical demarcation, the first was Chianti Classico.
I think, but for sure, because it's the first document about it's the first document that has defined area as wine region. But also we had document from the Middle Age, you know, late 13th centuries, or middle to 13th centuries, that defined the Chianti as a wine. You know, it's a document between...
with that name.
With that name, Chianti as a wine. So since the Middle Age,
where does the name come from? The word Chianti.
The Chianti is the
region, right? The region. So it's
they think that it's an Etruscan word that it was already, you know, defined at this area.
The name
this area. But there is some document during the Middle Age that define Chianti as a wine.
Okay.
You know, actually we have a document from, if I remember well, 1375, between a merchant in Florence and a producer in the Chianti Classico, I mean, signed and agreed by a notary in Florence that mentioned this Chianti as a wine. So since the Middle Age, this area has been already famous for the production and for the quality of the wine.
Fantastic. You know, and I've had San Felice many times in the past, the Campo Giovanni, and today we have two wines, I want to taste them with you. Two reds, the Pugnitello, and we got the Bolgheri. I assume this is a Bordeaux blend.
It's a Bordeaux blend. Okay. Yes, like San Felice, just mainly Chianti Classico. Then during the years, the property purchased in Montalcino at the beginning of the 80s. And then most recently, we also purchased in Bolgheri, like in 2015. So we try to put our signature, I would say, in the most important Toscan wine region.
Of course, okay. Of course. Bolgheri being closer to the ocean, right?
Bolgheri is just right in the middle of Tuscany.
Is it the Maremma that's closer to the ocean?
The Maremma is considered actually geographically also Bolgheri can be considered Maremma.
Okay.
Maremma, Bolgheri is a very small wine region. It's like a rectangle, just like in the middle of Tuscany, very close to the coast. Okay?
Exactly, to the coast, because I was in Tuscany last year in the hills, in the middle.
And then some hills, in the Bolgheri hills on the back, that make this wine region very small. Consider that at the moment is like 400 hectares.
Okay.
No less than 65 producers. So international grapes varieties over there. Probably that the one of the most famous and actually one of the founder of the Bolgheri appellation was Marchesi in Cisella Rocchetta with the Sassicaia that started at the end of the 40s to plant this. It is new international grape varieties. Pugnitello is our trademark.
Lovely.
Actually, as I told you before, Pugnitello is the trademark of San Felice. First, the story of this grape varieties is connected with a huge study that we did with the University of Florence at the beginning of the 80s to collect and save all the Tuscan indigenous grape varieties. Beginning of the 80s was very trendy also for many producers in the Chianti Classico, but not only, to planting new international grape varieties like Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, whatever. At that time, actually, it was very trendy also in the style of Chianti Classico to use those grape varieties. But the risk was to lose completely our identity, but all our heritage of indigenous grape varieties that is huge. So the University of Florence came to San Felice and they say, we started this huge project with the researchers that were going around Tuscany to collect all the indigenous grape varieties. Do you have some land for us? San Felice immediately say yes. So we gave 5 acres of land for the university.
This is before Alliance owned the company.
No. It was during
who founded San Felice? An Italian family, I assume.
Allora, before Alliance, the San Felice was the owner of San Felice was the Del Taia family.
Okay, an Italian
actually
family.
Is a noble family from Siena.
Of course.
It actually was the family that had, the monopoly of the wine in the city. Like in Florence, like the Antinori family of the Frescobaldi family. That there were 2 families that they were,
And what's the name of this family again?
Del Taia. So.
And San Felice is a patron saint. Felice.
Is San Felice? Yes. The name of San Felice comes from the church, the Romanic church that is still in San Felice. That the first document that we have of this church is a document of 714. So a lot of history.
This is something that on this side of the world we will
a lot of history. So probably the production of the wine and this winery started really at the beginning of the of the Roman for sure even before during the Etruscan. So a lot of history behind this
Pugnitello. I have never had it before. Since when did you start making the Pugnitello?
I'll tell you exactly. So research of the university, went around starting from in beginning of the 80s around Tuscany, and they collected all the Tuscan indigenous grape varieties. And so at the moment in our experimental vineyards, we have only, I would say, 270 different grape varieties. huge.
It's crazy.
It's huge. It's crazy. So when we're talking about the grape varieties in Italy, the subject can be endless.
Yeah, 10,000 different.
It's crazy. It's impossible. So our winemaker, at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, he had that is amazing, quantity of grape varieties. So he started selecting some, and he started doing microvinification for almost 30 grape varieties. Pugnitello, among all those grape varieties, came out to be really amazing because most of the grape varieties that they brought, in San Felice, they were almost disappear because most of them they were not so good for the vinification. Pugnitello, this grape was amazing, and actually Pugnitello has also a nice story behind, because actually one researcher of the University of Florence in 1981 found the last vine, one single vine.
Hold on for a second.
Yeah.
Pugnitello is the name of a grape.
It's the name of a grape.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And this wine that I'm having, I've never had this before.
Yeah.
How much percent is Pugnitello?
100% Pugnitello grape. Very easy. Very easy.
This is stupid. This is the find of the festival. Oh my God. I would have thought this was a blend of Sangiovese, Canaiolo.
No. This is Pugnitello grape, 100%. Actually, from one single vine found by a researcher of the University of Florence in 1981, now we have in San Felice 35 acres of Pugnitello. So in San Felice, after Sangiovese, Pugnitello is the most important grape varieties that you can find as a pure Pugnitello, as you're tasting now, but also you can find in the blend of many other of our wines. Once overall, our Chianti Classico, that has a percentage of 10% of Pugnitello.
I love the minerality, the iron, the blood note that it has, the herbs, the spice, but then it has that very bright cherry, red fruit, and you have some herbs. To me, Italian wines are made to be enjoyed with food. People know that my favorite wines in the world are from Italy. And if somebody gets, pissed about this, that's your problem. But I had never had Pugnitello before. Maybe in blends. Maybe it was a small percentage.
Probably in some blend. It's also true that it's very rare also in the Chianti Classico region. Basically, we are not the only one anymore, but for most of the times we were the only one to have Pugnitello in the blend of the regular Chianti Classico. And as you taste the Pugnitello, the reason because we use the Pugnitello in the blend of the Chianti Classico is because it matches very well the opposite tasting profile of the Sangiovese. So the Pugnitello has two characteristics. First of all, it makes the Sangiovese a little bit lower in terms of acidity. So it makes the Sangiovese more approachable. The Sangiovese naturally have a high acidity. Sometimes, especially in some market, it can be a little bit difficult to understand for the people. Thanks to Pugnitello, it lowers a little bit the acidity of the Sangiovese. And also, Pugnitello, as you tasted, has a very, very noble tannins.
It's amazing. I've never had Pugnitello before.
And also, the Pugnitello has a very long aging potential.
My God, what a beautiful! How much is this wine in the United States? A bottle of Pugnitello.
We are going around $65.
What a beautiful discovery for me.
Yeah.
I gotta give you my hand.
Yeah.
I've done 800 of these interviews, and I've never been so surprised because Pugnitello, I thought it was the name of a blend or something.
No.
You're telling me it's a
grape variety.
Oh my God!
It's a grape variety.
And how long have you been making a single varietal Pugnitello?
The first vintage was 2003.
2003. How does it age? How does that drink in the 2004, 2005?
I tell you this story. The first vintage, 2003, I think we produced like 300 bottles. And I found recently one bottle in the middle of nowhere in Texas, in one, really literally in the middle of nowhere, a store in the desert. They didn't even know that they had this bottle over there. I opened the bottle recently. You know that 2003 was one of the hottest. Heat
wave, horrible year for a lot of.
It was one of the hottest. most of the wines, especially the important wines, or are completely cooked from 2003, or they are so tannic.
How was the Pugnitello?
Was amazing. It was so no. Since when I opened the bottle, you could look from the color. It was so brilliant, so fresh, so balanced that I really understood from this bottle the really potential of the aging of this wine, because actually since 2003 we're still studying the potential of aging of this wine.
I am going to do a separate review of the Pugnitello. How many bottles are you producing nowadays?
10,000 bottles.
10,000. Yeah, okay. Now let's get it, because you have an event. Let's go to the Bolgheri.
Bolgheri.
Tell me about this one.
Allora, Bolgheri, as I told you, it's a new project of San Felice, started in 2015. We purchased this beautiful spot in the north part of Bolgheri, not far from Sassicaia. So on the north part, respect the famous road with the cypress called the Viale dei Cipressi di Bolgheri, that you can find in many pictures when you Google Bolgheri, it appears this beautiful road with the cypresses on the side. And this particular spot is famous for the quality of the Merlot. So basically, our Bolgheri wines, we have actually Bolgheri has two different types of quality in terms of red. You have the Bolgheri Rosso DOC that is aged for 1 year. Then you have also the Bolgheri Superiori, that is a different category that must be aged minimum for 2 years. That's maybe the in Bolgheri you can use basically very flexible in terms of grape varieties. You can use a 25% minimum of whatever, We decided to use for both our wines, our reds, a high percentage of Merlot, because in this particular spot the Merlot grows in an amazing way.
Of course.
Also, it's it's very it's a very the Merlot in the last years they didn't get a lot of course
they got a bad rap
and I think it's absolutely one of the most underestimated grape, especially from Tuscany.
I like Italian Merlot much more than I like California Merlot.
I completely agree with you,
because it's velvety, but it has acidity. It's not as cooked as some wines you find in the States, and I say this with the most respect. I've been enjoying Merlot wines. I've been privileged enough to have the Macetos, to have the Tuarrita wine, the Redigaffis. This is spectacular. To me, Italian Merlot is like an Italian shoe. It lasts, it's plush, it's comfortable, it's elegant, and it lasts a lifetime. Did you like my comparison?
I agree completely with you, especially for the long aging potential.
Oh my God.
Especially the Merlot from Tuscany.
Of course.
Tuscany, not only from Bolgheri, but also from some other region. From this wine is like 60 Merlot and 40 Cabernet Sauvignon. 1 year of aging is small French oak barrique. But as you told you, it's a Merlot that has a particular identity in this area. He has this kind of herbiness, spiciness, like wild
bell pepper. You have the currant from the Cabernet Sauvignon. Then you also have these herbs. To me, Italian wines, when they're well made, are much more about earth and soil than fruit. The fruit is there, of course, it's going to be there.
Yeah,
but you feel the soil, you feel the terroir. To me, the vineyards is like the circulatory system of the body, but for the planet. All of that's underneath the soil is like the veins of the planet.
I completely agree with you. Another characteristic over there for the Merlot is the acidity.
Of course, brilliant acidity.
Some people, when we are talking about Merlot, they think like a big bomb fruit without
pornographic. This is love. It's not porn. Porno is not bad necessarily, but
no. I mean,
but certain.
I'm Italian, so for me, it's always good. I mean, but anyway,
certain Merlots from some part, it's just pornography.
Yes,
pornography. This is love. This is a gorgeous bottle of wine.
So
how much is this for? $150?
No, are you kidding me? This is a wine that costs like $30.
$30?
Yeah. Sure.
You're losing. What's the name of the CEO of the company?
The CEO of the company is Carlo De Blasi.
Carlo Di Blasi, you're losing money, my friend. How can this be $30? Give it to me, I'll sell it for 150. What a gorgeous wine. This is fantastic.
Also,
this is very balanced and has this lovely, lovely nose that speaks of this sense of place, sense of terroir, sense of this is a quintessential Italian wine with Bordeaux varietals. Because it's not, I mean, it's not obviously a French wine, but it's Bordeaux varietals interpreted in an Italian way where you're going to have herbs, acidity, much more than there's austerity and rusticity, but what gives the Italian imprint to this is that sort of mint cherry that has this herbaceous note that is not as green as some of the blends you find in Bordeaux, but is more on the reddish, Moorish anise. How do you say anise in Italian?
Anice.
Anice. This is lovely wine, my friend. Lovely wine.
It's lovely, and with a, $30, around $30, you get a great wine.
It's stupid affordable. It's incredible.
That's also another characteristic of Bulgari because, it's not fair to compare to the Bordeaux, whatever, but, in terms of price, you can get a nice,
it's very nice.
Bordeaux blend wine that at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, but from a winery with a track record, with a winery that owns a lot of vineyards and that has a person at the helm for 42 years, you said. So you're purchasing at a very affordable price. Do you know the price of this in Puerto Rico, in the store? 40?
No, I think it should be 35.
35.
Like that,
so this is another find for me of this coverage. I've done 25 interviews in 2 days. Thank you, Francesco.
Grazie mille, Eduardo.
Amazing. What a revelation for me. The Pugnitello is something that I will never forget. I'm going to do a separate review. And then the Bulgari, I thought when you were speaking about Sassicaia and then we're speaking about the quality of Merlot, when you told me about the winemaker being there for 42 years and the vineyards that you purchased and the quality. It's not what you told me that I gather because you're a good salesman. You sell wine, but the quality of the wine, the elegance, the softness, the equilibrium. Life is about equilibrium, balance. I would have thought this was a much, much more expensive wine. And at the end of the day, I think what you want to achieve is to make reasonably priced wines that provide the consumer with, at the end of the day, a nice time with a friend, with a dear one. Thank you so much.
Grazie mille. Thank you for your time. We won't increase the price.
No problem. Don't worry. You shouldn't. We're going to go now into my mother tongue. Gracias, mi gente. Qué privilegio para mí sentarme con el señor Francesco Riviera, que representa a Bodega San Felice aquí en Puerto Rico a través de Plaza Cellar, la Boutique Dubán. He probado 2 vinos espectaculares y mi matemática, que es media chapucera, yo creo que usted se puede llevar estos 2 vinos por 120, 130 dólares. Right? You can buy both of them for 120, 125. Total.
Sí, así.
Pugnitello 65, 30 here.
Sí,
more or less.
More or less, 100-ish.
He tomado 2 vinos espectaculares, el Pugnitello y el Bulgari. El Pugnitello es algo único, es un unicornio, es una rareza, es una cosa que usted jamás olvidará. Un vino maravilloso, todos ustedes fanáticos de los vinos italianos, los tintos, los Chianti, estos vinos incluso del Piemonte que tienen acidez, que tienen elegancia, que tienen una presencia de fruta, que son para comer. Prueben este Pugnitello 2019. Que tenemos el privilegio de tenerlos en Puerto Rico gracias a Plaza Cellar y la Boutique Dubán. Recuerden seguirnos en el podcast, dejarnos una reseña y compartir esto con sus amigos que les guste el mundo del vino. Recuerden que lo importante no es el destino, la meta, sino el viaje y el recorrido. Será hasta la próxima. Thank you, my friend.
Gracias mille.
Salute.
Thank you for your passion in the Italian wines.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Este fue el episodio de hoy. Recuerda dejarnos una reseña para que nos ayudes a crecer, suscribirte y recomendarnos con tus amigos amantes del vino. No importa cuán avanzado estés en el recorrido de enamorarte de aquello que decían sobre el vino. Son uvas transformadas en poesía. Aquí hay espacio para todos. Salud y como siempre, dale share.